That is not Josh Ungar on the other line tonight. Josh is once again unable to make it tonight. He is back from overseas, but he had a prior commitment tonight. So filling in for him, we have the one, the only, the host of the Fitz on Sports podcast, my Voltage Live colleague, Sean Fitzgerald. What's going on, Fitz?
Not much. I got home from work a little bit ago. You know, it's a funny thing, Brandon. I don't know if you remember this. Back in 2019, our good friend Quentin Griffin and other good friend Dylan Bowers, the primary host of Victory Formation, those two were going to be out, and only Dante Centofanti was going to be on. So it was actually on April 1st. So they asked me, "Hey, can you fill in?" It's like this would be like it was a cool thing. So I actually, did everything that they would normally do, and I filled in as the host and board op and I worked with Dante. That was, what was that, 7 years ago? Unfortunately, it's not April 1st, it's April 2nd.
I don't remember that, but that would have been a great April Fool's joke to play on me, and you would have told me it was my show because I would never remember it at all. But anyway, it's been a while. I'm trying to think. You have not been on this show since
It's
probably
been
the
less
end
than
of
a year, I
last
know
baseball season, like October.
Somewhere around there. I think so. I can't remember the exact time, but probably roughly around that time.
So we got a lot to dive into tonight. There's a lot going on in the sports world right now. We have NFL spring meetings going on. We got ABS in Major League Baseball. We got the NBA potentially tankering with some tanking rules. But we got to start with March Madness because the Final Four is here this coming Saturday and, of course, Friday and Sunday for the women. For the men in the Final Four, I have three of my four original teams that were in the Final Four still in the bracket. Of course, it took a miracle for it to happen on Sunday, but I'll take it.
UConn for the win.
So we have UConn against Illinois, and we have Michigan versus Arizona. And I got to tell you, I personally disagree with who's favored in both games because Illinois is favored against UConn.
Really?
And Michigan is favored against Arizona.
Arizona is my only surviving team, and they are my champion in what I call my main bracket, the one where I'm actually serious.
I completely disagree with both of those things. I'll be honest. I give full credit to Illinois. They've been a good story all year. They're obviously with all the international kids, but I really think if they just play the way they played against Iowa on Saturday against UConn, they'd get blown out by 20.
Yeah.
That's my take. I do not think Illinois has played very well in most of these games. Houston, they just shut down to my shock because I had Houston
in the title game
region.
I had them winning that region. And let me just say, I got the wrong region, but I said there was going to be a 1 seed that didn't make it to the second weekend, and it was Florida. Unfortunately, I Michigan. I got part of that right. Part of it, small.
You did. I thought Florida was the weakest team in that region, but here's what I would say about March Madness. It is hard for me personally to criticize anybody's takes on March Madness because it's March Madness. What do we know? Anything can happen.
And there's been less upsets and madness to a degree. That's the one thing that you and I talked about a couple weeks ago is it's been more chalk, a lot more chalk the last couple of years now. And I'm wanting to see some chaos.
It has, but I mean, did you see the ratings, by the way?
They were, especially Duke Siena 116, where Siena almost looked like they were going to really pull it out. Siena led by as many as 10, and up until Duke lost what? It was up until Duke lost. I mean, I'm
just talking about
Duke was 6-0 prior to their loss. 6-0 after trailing by 10 or more points, Brandon. That's not normal.
Well, also, you know what isn't normal? Including the loss Sunday against UConn, they had 3 losses this season. All of them, they had a double-digit lead in the second half.
You're kidding.
Nope.
UConn, oh my God. Wow.
So, I mean, and listen, I said it's the truth. I like John Shire. I think he's a good coach. I think he's a great recruiter. I don't think he is the game plan adjuster that Coach K was. When I watched Duke, It's like they come in and they want to flex their muscle, and if they do flex their muscle, they can blow you out. But they're not good at adjusting. And I think UConn just stayed the course, and you could see, like at one point, UConn was 1 of 18 from 3, and you just saw the momentum flip consistently in that second half to the point where it was like, yeah, did Duke throw the game away? Yeah, but UConn outplayed them significantly in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree there at all. I mean, there's also, they were just recently 2-time back-to-back reigning champions up until this past year when Florida did take home the title. I mean, they've got a championship caliber level coach. They've got still some championship DNA on that roster. Even if they weren't necessarily starters on either of those two teams, they are guys who were there, even if they're just, role guys or bench players. You have to take that into account as well. And that's something that is so invaluable to a team like UConn, where we're talking real potential college basketball dynasty for right now. As for Duke, I do get where you're coming at with Shire. I don't necessarily disagree. Anyone who came after Coach K, it was going to be tough. It was going to be tough no matter what. And I think with Shire, he's still learning. I think he's gotten better. I'm not saying
this
by leaps and bounds.
This is what I guess I'm going to say. Like, let's take Alabama, for example, football, because I think that's a good example.
Please. I love it.
I don't know yet if Kalen DeVore was the right guy to replace Nick Saban. What I'm trying to say with Duke is I do think Shire is the right guy to replace Coach K. I just don't think he's there yet strategically.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to get at, is that I think he's going to get there. It's just going to take a little bit of time. He's still young. He's still young for a head coach.
So I do want to ask you this, though. It's fascinating to me. We might have talked about this. You were on Brandon's Word a couple weeks ago, and we might have touched on it. And to be honest with you, it's been so long, and I've been so busy with work, I don't even remember if we touched on it or not. But it struck me Saturday watching the Illinois game against Iowa. Illinois only made 3 threes the whole game, and they won the game. In the NBA, if you don't make 3 threes within like 5 minutes, your team stinks. So
I want to give it 8. Let's just give them a plus minus 8 minutes.
All right. I mean, I just think like college basketball and the NBA to me have never been different in terms of style of play. And I think we are romanticizing a little bit as a country of like, oh my God, it's great to see guys bang low in the post, go inside, use the low game. They're not calling many fouls at the rim. It's very competitive. The trapping, the 1-on-1, just all these end of game scenarios have just made college basketball to me like the tournament. I don't care. People are mad. There's no Cinderellas. I don't care. I think the tournament's been great. I've been enjoying almost every game.
Yeah, I mean, almost every game has come down to the wire for the most part. That's been the one upside. But again, I do miss where you have a team that just completely busts everyone's brackets. Because man, I got a little bit of
was that team this year. It may not have been, old Chicago or NC State, but Iowa was that team, and I would argue Texas to some extent.
Yeah, that is true, definitely. Although, man, for folks who forget, if Oregon makes the tournament next year with Dana Altman, pick them for at least the first round, no matter what.
So, Michigan, Arizona, though, I actually believe is the national championship.
Let me touch on this. I may have touched on it on Brandon's World. So, I saw Big Ten tournament with Ohio State and Michigan, right?
Yep.
What I saw from Michigan, there was something that they just stopped. They just stopped for whatever reason. That's the best word I have right now. And Ohio State got back into that game, and they grabbed their only 2-point lead of that game later on. And then Michigan all of a sudden put their foot back on the gas pedal. That was why I had them like as my risky bet to go out like in the round of 32 to St. Louis potentially. And St. Louis put up 100 points on Georgia the game before. So it's like, I'm like, you know what? I'm feeling kind of good. But if there's a weakness with Michigan, I think Ohio State provided the blueprint, and I hope Arizona's been looking at it because it was
I think
bizarre.
Arizona has the best backcourt in the country. I said going in over Duke. I thought Arizona should have been the undisputed 1 seed. I thought they were the best team in the country. So I'm riding with them. We'll see. It's going to be
my champ too. They're the only one left in my Final Four.